Imagine a royal court where whispers echo in the shadows, each carrying a secret strong enough to rewrite history. Picture a single decision made behind closed doors, concealed from the world, yet powerful enough to topple a mighty empire. Throughout history, royal secrets have been the threads that bind triumph, betrayal, and downfall together, weaving tales of intrigue that shaped entire nations. In this video, we are about to uncover 15 moments when royal secrets rattled the very foundations of their kingdoms. These are not just stories of hidden letters, forbidden affairs, or mysterious vanishing heirs. They are the untold truths that turned monarchs into legends and dynasties into ruins. Stay with us as we unravel the mysteries that lie at the heart of power, where every secret is a weapon and every revelation changes the game. Now turning to the hidden struggles of King George III, we uncover a royal secret that not only defined his reign but also reshaped the fate of nations. King George III of England, remembered as the monarch who lost the American colonies, endured a deeply personal battle that was carefully obscured from public view: his mental illness. For years, his erratic behavior was whispered about but never openly addressed, as his advisors worked tirelessly to maintain an image of stability and strength. The secrecy surrounding his condition wasn't just about protecting the king's reputation. It was a strategic effort to preserve the legitimacy of the monarchy itself. During the American Revolution, his declining mental health reportedly affected his decision-making, deepening the political turmoil of the era. Advisors and physicians under immense pressure employed desperate measures, often unconventional or ineffective, to stabilize the situation. Behind the opulence of the royal court, they concealed his episodes of confusion and paranoia, crafting a facade of normalcy to present to both the British public and foreign leaders. This veil of secrecy not only delayed discussions of mental health in leadership, but also added a layer of complexity to the challenges Britain faced on the global stage. The truth about King George's struggles only emerged long after his reign, casting a new light on a critical period of history. As we uncover more royal secrets, the personal and political weight of his hidden condition sets the stage for the next chapter of intrigue. As the next challenge unfolds, we delve into one of the most chilling and enduring mysteries of English history: the disappearance of Edward V and his younger brother Richard, Duke of York, known as the Princes in the Tower. These two sons of King Edward IV were just boys when they were placed in the Tower of London by their uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, who initially claimed to be their protector. However, what began as a custody arrangement took a darker turn. Shortly after being declared illegitimate, the boys vanished without a trace, leaving behind a void filled with suspicion and intrigue. Many have pointed the finger at Richard, who soon ascended the throne as King Richard III. The theory suggests that he eliminated his nephews to secure his claim to the crown. Yet, others argue that the true mastermind could have been his successor, Henry VII, who had his own motives for erasing potential Yorkist rivals to solidify his budding Tudor dynasty. Over centuries, theories have abounded, from secret escapes to cold-blooded murder, but none have been definitively proven. The disappearance of the princes not only cast a shadow over Richard's contentious reign, but also played a pivotal role in the downfall of the House of York. This mystery became a cornerstone of Tudor propaganda, portraying Richard as a villain and legitimizing Henry's rule. As we move forward, this web of betrayal and uncertainty highlights the precarious nature of power in medieval England, setting the stage for another royal secret that changed the course of history. Now turning to one of the most dramatic power plays in Russian history, we unravel the closely guarded secret behind Catherine the Great's rise to the throne. Born as an obscure German princess, Catherine married into the Russian imperial family, becoming the wife of Peter III, a ruler whose short reign was marked by unpopularity and controversy. Unlike her husband, Catherine was deeply ambitious and astutely aware of the political currents swirling around her. Behind closed doors, she cultivated alliances with influential nobles, military leaders, and even members of the clergy, carefully laying the groundwork for her daring coup. The secrecy surrounding her plans was paramount. Any hint of betrayal could have meant imprisonment or death. This clandestine conspiracy reached its climax in July of 1762, when Catherine seized the moment to act. With the support of the military and backing from powerful aristocrats, she orchestrated a swift and decisive coup. Peter III was overthrown and forced to sign an abdication, ending his tumultuous 6-month rule. Shortly after, under mysterious circumstances, Peter died while in custody, though the details of his demise remain shrouded in speculation. The secrecy and precision of Catherine's operation ensured her uncontested rise to the throne, securing her place as one of Russia's most dominant rulers. Her ability to conceal her intentions while expertly navigating the treacherous waters of imperial politics not only solidified her authority, but also left a legacy that redefined Russian leadership. Catherine's ascent was not just a tale of ambition but a masterclass in strategy, showing how careful planning and discretion could turn the tide of history. As we continue, the story of another ruler unfolds, this time in England, where an enigmatic queen's secrets shaped the future of her reign. Moving forward, we delve into the intriguing mystery surrounding Queen Elizabeth I of England and her lifelong assertion of being the Virgin Queen. Elizabeth, daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, ascended the throne in a period of religious and political upheaval. Her choice to remain unmarried was unprecedented and quickly became one of the most fascinating aspects of her reign. But was this claim of virginity a calculated political strategy to strengthen her grip on power, or did it conceal more personal motives? By presenting herself as a devoted servant to her country, married only to the realm, Elizabeth managed to maintain autonomy in an era where royal marriages were often used as tools for political alliances. Her refusal to wed not only thwarted foreign powers seeking influence through marriage, but also kept her counselors and courtiers guessing, as they were unable to predict the direction of her policies. Yet Elizabeth's personal life invited endless speculation. Rumors about her possible romantic relationships, particularly with close advisors like Robert Dudley, sparked both intrigue and controversy. Her enigmatic demeanor and the deliberate secrecy surrounding her private life only fueled the gossip, making her the subject of relentless scrutiny. The Virgin Queen's image was carefully constructed, allowing her to project strength and independence while avoiding the complications of marriage and the loss of authority it could bring. However, some historians have questioned whether her claim of virginity was entirely truthful or whether it masked personal vulnerabilities or untold relationships. The legacy of her decision is monumental, as it not only defined her reign but also set her apart as a uniquely powerful and independent monarch. As we move forward, we encounter another royal scandal, this time in France, where whispers of an affair would contribute to the downfall of a queen and the monarchy itself. Now turning to the lavish yet tumultuous court of France, we uncover the whispers of a scandal that would forever stain the image of Queen Marie Antoinette. At the heart of this controversy lies her alleged affair with Count Axel von Fersen, a Swedish nobleman and military officer. Their rumored relationship, though never definitively proven, became the subject of intense speculation both during and after her lifetime. Count von Fersen was a trusted confidant of the Queen, often seen by her side during moments of great personal and political turmoil. Their closeness did not go unnoticed, and the French public, already discontented with the monarchy's extravagant lifestyle, seized upon these rumors to further criticize their queen. Marie Antoinette, often perceived as detached and frivolous, struggled to combat the damaging narratives that painted her as both disloyal to her husband, King Louis XVI, and indifferent to the plight of her suffering subjects. The alleged affair with von Fersen became a symbol of royal excess and moral laxity, fueling the growing resentment toward the monarchy. It is worth noting that this scandal unfolded against the backdrop of widespread social and economic unrest in France. The people, burdened by poverty and high taxes, were increasingly unwilling to tolerate the opulence and perceived indifference of their rulers. The rumors of Marie Antoinette's indiscretions, including the infamous accusation of uttering "let them eat cake," only served to deepen public animosity. While modern historians debate the authenticity of her romantic involvement with von Fersen, the impact of these rumors is undeniable. They eroded the Queen's reputation, turning her into a convenient scapegoat for the frustrations of a struggling nation. This tarnished image played no small part in the fervor that eventually led to the French Revolution and the monarchy's downfall. As the shadows of this scandal deepen, we now turn our gaze to yet another royal enigma, the secretive and scandalous influence of a mysterious figure in the Russian court whose presence would destabilize an empire. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we arrive at the twilight of Imperial Russia, where a shadowy figure's rise to power would shake the very foundation of the Romanov dynasty. Enter Grigory Rasputin, a self-proclaimed holy man whose mysterious influence over Tsar Nicholas II and his wife, Tsarina Alexandra, became a source of endless speculation and scandal. Rasputin's connection to the royal family began under the pretext of healing their only son, Alexei, who suffered from a life-threatening blood disorder. His apparent ability to ease the boy's suffering earned him the unwavering trust of the Empress, who believed he was sent by a divine power to protect the future of the monarchy. However, Rasputin's growing presence at court was anything but universally welcomed. Rumors began to swirl, painting Rasputin as a manipulative opportunist with undue sway over state affairs. Many in the noble class accused Alexandra of placing blind faith in a man they saw as immoral and dangerous. These allegations ranged from claims of political interference to outright impropriety, with whispers of scandal that tainted both Rasputin and the royal family he so closely advised. The secrecy surrounding Rasputin's exact role in court only fueled these suspicions, as did his frequent public appearances in less than dignified settings that seemed unbecoming of someone tied so closely to the royal family. For many Russians, the presence of Rasputin became a symbol of the monarchy's decaying moral and political authority. As the empire faced mounting crises, including devastating losses in war and severe economic hardship, public perception of the Romanovs began to crumble. Rasputin's rumored influence was seen as a direct threat to the stability of the nation, further eroding confidence in Nicholas II's ability to lead. Ultimately, the deep mistrust and outrage surrounding Rasputin played a pivotal role in the broader discontent that led to the downfall of the Romanov dynasty. As we unravel the layers of this scandal, we turn now to a love affair concealed through clandestine letters, a secret that would rewrite the course of an entire nation's faith and future. Now turning to the turbulent court of England, we uncover a secret that not only scandalized the Tudor dynasty, but also set into motion a seismic shift in European history. The tale begins with King Henry VIII, a monarch known for his larger-than-life personality, and Anne Boleyn, the enigmatic woman who captured his heart. While still married to Catherine of Aragon, Henry began penning passionate love letters to Anne, letters filled with declarations of devotion and promises of a future together. These clandestine writings revealed the depths of his obsession, as well as his growing frustration with his inability to produce a male heir with Catherine. The letters, deeply personal and often explicit, offer a rare glimpse into the king's private thoughts and desires, exposing a level of vulnerability rarely associated with his otherwise commanding persona. However, these secret correspondences were far more than mere expressions of love. They became powerful catalysts in Henry's resolve to annul his marriage to Catherine, a decision that would shatter England's long-standing ties with the Catholic Church. At the heart of this decision was not only Henry's fixation on Anne, but also his determination to secure the Tudor lineage through a legitimate male heir. When the Pope refused to grant the annulment, the king's frustration reached a boiling point. This ultimately led to the English Reformation, as Henry broke away from Rome, established the Church of England, and declared himself its supreme head. The ripple effects of this move were enormous, altering England's religious and political landscape forever. Anne Boleyn, the woman for whom Henry risked so much, became queen, though her reign would prove as controversial as the love that had elevated her. These letters, once written in secrecy, are now preserved as historical treasures, offering an enduring testament to a romance that changed the very foundation of a kingdom. As the story of Henry and Anne comes to a dramatic close, we now venture to the ancient sands of Egypt, where a queen's secret betrayal of her own bloodlines carved her path to absolute power. As the sun rises on the next chapter, we find ourselves amidst the grandeur of ancient Egypt, where royal intrigue and betrayal defined the rule of Cleopatra VII. Known for her intelligence, charm, and political acumen, Cleopatra's ascent to power was not simply a matter of destiny. It was secured through calculated moves and, most shockingly, secret betrayals within her own family. At the heart of this saga lies her tumultuous relationship with her brother and co-ruler, Ptolemy XIII. In accordance with Egyptian custom, Cleopatra and Ptolemy were married and shared the throne, but their partnership was hardly harmonious. Power struggles soon erupted, with Ptolemy's advisors conspiring against Cleopatra to remove her from the throne. What unfolded next was a covert battle for supremacy. Cleopatra, forced to flee, began amassing support in secret, using her sharp intellect and diplomatic skills to carve out her return. Her alliance with Julius Caesar proved to be a turning point, but it came at a significant cost. Cleopatra's cooperation with Caesar not only solidified her power but also led to the eventual downfall of Ptolemy XIII. The young king perished under suspicious circumstances during their conflict, marking the end of his challenge to her rule. Cleopatra's betrayal extended beyond this sibling rivalry. She would later have her remaining siblings eliminated to ensure no rivals would threaten her sovereignty. These calculated actions, though ruthless, secured Cleopatra's position as the sole ruler of Egypt, cementing her place in history as one of the most formidable figures of her time. Yet, these secrets of bloodline betrayal cast a shadow over her legacy, emphasizing the lengths to which she went to consolidate power. As Cleopatra's story demonstrates the complex interplay of loyalty and ambition within royal families, we now navigate to the glittering court of France, where a queen's name was tarnished in a scandal that would ignite revolutionary flames. As the next challenge unfolds, we step into the opulent yet turbulent court of France, where a single scandal involving a diamond necklace shook the monarchy to its core. Known as the Diamond Necklace Affair, this infamous episode became one of the most damaging events for Queen Marie Antoinette's reputation. It all began with an ambitious conwoman named Jeanne de la Motte, who orchestrated a grand scheme to acquire an extravagant diamond necklace meant for royalty. Jeanne falsely claimed to be acting on behalf of the Queen, forging letters and misleading powerful individuals, including Cardinal de Rohan, into believing that Marie Antoinette desired the necklace for herself. The cardinal, entranced by his desire to gain favor with the Queen, was manipulated into securing the necklace, thinking it would elevate his standing at court. Unbeknownst to him, Jeanne had no intention of delivering the jewels to the Queen. Instead, she and her accomplices sold the diamonds in secret to fund their own pursuits, leaving the cardinal deceived and the Queen unaware of the entire conspiracy. When the fraud was uncovered, public attention did not focus on the true culprits but rather on Marie Antoinette, who was falsely accused of orchestrating the entire affair. The image of the Queen as a lavish, out-of-touch monarch was further fueled by scathing pamphlets and widespread gossip, which portrayed her as extravagant and indifferent to the struggles of the French people. Though she was ultimately exonerated of any involvement, the damage had been done. The scandal deepened public resentment toward her and the monarchy, feeding the flames of revolutionary fervor that were already simmering across France. The diamond necklace affair remains a potent example of how perception can often outweigh truth in shaping history, and it marked a significant step toward the eventual collapse of the French monarchy. With this masterpiece of manipulation behind us, we now shift our focus to the mysterious corridors of the French court once more, where the enigma of the man in the iron mask continues to baffle historians to this day. Now turning to one of the most enduring mysteries of the French court, the tale of the man in the iron mask has fascinated historians and storytellers alike for centuries. This enigmatic figure, imprisoned during the reign of Louis XIV, was rumored to be a hidden member of the royal family. Some theories suggest he was the king's illegitimate son, while others propose he was an older brother whose very existence could threaten the monarchy. The secret surrounding his identity was guarded with extraordinary measures, including the infamous iron mask that concealed his face. His presence in the Bastille prison and other high-security locations raised countless questions about the nature of his crime and the reasons behind such extreme secrecy. Was his identity so dangerous that it could destabilize the power of Louis XIV's reign? Or was it merely a sensational story intended to mask an ordinary prisoner's fate? The implications of such a secret being true are staggering. If he were indeed the king's son or brother, it would suggest a scandal in the royal lineage, potentially undermining the divine right of kings upon which Louis XIV based his authority. The French monarchy relied heavily on the perception of its unassailable legitimacy, so hiding a figure who could challenge that narrative may have been seen as a vital necessity. Throughout history, many have speculated on the truth of this prisoner's identity, but no definitive answer has ever been found. The secrecy surrounding his life and death has ensured that this mystery endures as one of the most intriguing royal enigmas. With the hidden life of the man in the iron mask in mind, we next find ourselves peering into the perilous correspondence of Mary, Queen of Scots, whose secret letters would seal her fateful destiny. Now turning to the deeply tangled web of Mary, Queen of Scots, and her clandestine correspondence, we uncover the perilous Babington plot, a secret that would ultimately define her legacy and lead to her tragic downfall. Mary Stuart, once a queen of both France and Scotland, found herself imprisoned by her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I of England, after fleeing her own kingdom amidst political turmoil and allegations of conspiracy. From her confinement, Mary became a focal point for those who sought to overthrow Elizabeth and restore a Catholic monarch to the English throne. Among these was Anthony Babington, a young English nobleman who, along with others, devised a plan to assassinate Elizabeth and place Mary on the throne. The correspondence between Mary and Babington was conducted in code, with messages smuggled in beer barrels to evade suspicion. Mary's involvement in the plot remains a subject of debate. Some believe she was a willing participant, desperate to regain her freedom, while others argue she was manipulated by those who sought to exploit her claim to the throne. Ultimately, these secret letters would betray her. Unbeknownst to Mary and Babington, Elizabeth's spies, led by the cunning Francis Walsingham, had intercepted the coded messages and deciphered their content. The disclosure of Mary's apparent approval of the plot sealed her fate. The fallout from this revelation was swift and devastating. Mary, a figure who symbolized both hope and threat to Catholics across Europe, was tried for treason and sentenced to death. Her execution in 1687 marked not just the end of her life, but also a turning point in the fragile religious and political balance of the British Isles. The exposure of her secret dealings reinforced Elizabeth's authority, but also cast a long shadow over the realm, as the execution of a fellow sovereign was seen as both unprecedented and dangerous. With the downfall of Mary, Queen of Scots, fresh in mind, we now pivot to another monumental episode in royal history, the abdication scandal of King Edward VIII, a secret love affair that would rock the British monarchy to its core. Moving forward, we unravel the dramatic tale of King Edward VIII and the secret love story that forever altered the course of the British monarchy. Edward, a charismatic and unconventional royal, ascended the throne in January 1936, bringing with him a sense of modernity and charm that captivated many. However, lurking behind his public persona was a deeply controversial relationship that would soon plunge the monarchy into an unprecedented crisis. Edward had fallen deeply in love with Wallis Simpson, an American socialite who had been married not once but twice. At a time when social and religious norms demanded strict adherence to tradition, this relationship was deemed unacceptable by the Church of England and the British establishment. Wallis's status as a divorcee made her a controversial figure, and her presence in Edward's life was perceived as a threat to the stability and integrity of the crown. As whispers of their romance grew louder, Edward found himself at an impossible crossroads: his love for Wallis or his duty to the throne. The situation reached its boiling point when Edward expressed his intent to marry her, igniting a constitutional crisis that shook the very foundations of the monarchy. The British government, led by Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin, made it clear that such a marriage could not be accepted. Their argument was rooted in the belief that the king, as the head of the Church of England, could not marry a woman who had living ex-husbands. Confronted with an ultimatum, Edward made a decision that stunned the world. On December 10, 1936, less than a year into his reign, Edward formally abdicated in favor of his younger brother Albert, who would become King George VI. In a heartfelt radio address, Edward stated that he found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of kingship without the support of the woman he loved, a declaration that both humanized and scandalized him in the eyes of the public. His abdication changed not only the line of succession but also the public perception of the monarchy itself. It raised questions about duty, love, and the personal sacrifices demanded of those who wear the crown. Edward's unyielding devotion to Wallis led to their marriage in 1937, but the couple lived in exile for the rest of their lives, shadowed by the legacy of his abdication. This episode is not merely a story of love and scandal, but a pivotal moment that redefined the British monarchy, setting a precedent that modern royals continue to grapple with. With the reverberations of Edward's decision still echoing, we now delve into the hidden mystery of the man in the iron mask, a royal secret so enigmatic that it has baffled historians for centuries. Now turning to the dramatic corridors of ancient Rome, we uncover a royal secret steeped in betrayal and political upheaval: the secret conspiracy that led to the assassination of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, a military genius and statesman, had risen to extraordinary heights, transforming the Roman Republic into his personal stage of power. By 44 years before the birth of Christ, Caesar held the title of Dictator Perpetuo, or Dictator for Life, a move that deeply unsettled many within the Roman Senate. For the senators, who cherished the ideals of the Republic and feared the erosion of its principles, Caesar's accumulation of power signaled the dangerous dawn of monarchy. Thus, a secret plot began to form. Concerned that Caesar intended to crown himself king, a group of about 60 senators, led by Gaius Cassius and Marcus Brutus, conspired to end his rule. The inclusion of Brutus, rumored to be an illegitimate son of Caesar, added a layer of personal tragedy to this betrayal, as Caesar had trusted him deeply. The plan was simple yet chilling: to ambush Caesar during a Senate meeting on the Ides of March, the 15th day of the month. On that fateful morning, foreboding omens and warnings reportedly reached Caesar, including an infamous soothsayer urging him to beware the Ides of March. However, dismissing such superstitions, Caesar proceeded to the theater of Pompey, where the Senate convened. As he arrived, the conspirators surrounded him under the guise of presenting petitions. What followed was a moment that would echo through history. The senators drew their daggers, striking Caesar repeatedly. It is said that Caesar fought back until he saw Brutus among his attackers, at which point he reportedly uttered his final words, "Et tu, Brute." Even you, Brutus, before succumbing to the brutal onslaught, Caesar's assassination sent shockwaves through Rome. While the conspirators believed they had safeguarded the Republic, their actions triggered chaos. Public outrage erupted, and the power vacuum left by Caesar's death paved the way for the rise of his grandnephew and heir, Octavian, who would later become Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. This betrayal not only marked the end of the Roman Republic, but also symbolized how secrets within the highest echelons of power can lead to monumental shifts in history. With the corridors of Rome still haunted by the echoes of Caesar's fall, we now examine the hidden lives of royal bastards, a topic that unveils yet another fascinating layer of royal intrigue. As the next chapter of royal intrigue unfolds, we delve into the concealed lives of illegitimate children born to monarchs, figures whose very existence was often shrouded in secrecy, yet whose presence sometimes altered the course of history. These royal bastards, as they were historically referred to, were usually the result of extramarital affairs or forbidden romances, hidden away to protect the reputations of kings and queens. However, despite attempts to erase or obscure their lineage, their stories frequently resurfaced, creating ripples of political intrigue and familial tension. One such tale originates in medieval England with William the Conqueror himself, who was derisively nicknamed William the Bastard as a reminder of his illegitimacy. Despite his birth status, William defied societal norms, seizing the English throne in 1066 and forever altering English history. His story demonstrated how those born outside the bounds of royal wedlock could still claim immense power. Centuries later, another example emerges from the French monarchy. King Louis XIV, known as the Sun King, was reputed to have fathered numerous illegitimate children whom he later legitimized, integrating some of them into the royal court. This act not only highlighted the complex dynamic between personal indulgence and political maneuvering, but also blurred the lines of succession, creating potential crises within the monarchy. In Russia, the infamous Grigory Rasputin scandal within the Romanov dynasty also brought allegations of illegitimacy into the spotlight, as rumors swirled about secret offspring linked to the mystic's controversial influence. These whispers, though often unverifiable, fueled gossip and eroded public trust in the monarchy, contributing to its eventual downfall. The secrecy surrounding illegitimate children was not merely about morality, it was deeply tied to the survival of dynasties. Acknowledging such offspring could threaten legitimate heirs and destabilize power structures, while suppressing their existence often led to scandals when the truth emerged. These hidden lives serve as a reminder that royal secrets were rarely confined to private chambers. They carried the weight of nations and could dictate the fate of kingdoms. With these veiled stories of illegitimacy lingering in history's shadows, we now turn to another secret that shook a nation: the diamond necklace affair, a scandal that further tarnished the image of France's monarchy and set the stage for revolution. As the sun rises on the next chapter of royal intrigue, we uncover the clandestine relationship between Queen Victoria and her devoted servant John Brown, a bond that sent shockwaves through Victorian society. Following the devastating loss of her husband, Prince Albert, Queen Victoria withdrew into a profound state of mourning, earning her the title, the Widow of Windsor. During this time of immense personal grief, it was John Brown, a Scottish servant, who became her most trusted confidant and unwavering companion. Their connection grew so deep that whispers of an inappropriate relationship began circulating within the court and beyond. The secret letters exchanged between Queen Victoria and John Brown revealed an intimacy that surpassed the bounds of a typical servant-master relationship. While some historians argue that their bond was purely platonic and rooted in mutual loyalty, others speculate that it may have been more than friendship. These rumors were further fueled by Queen Victoria's personal honors for Brown, such as commissioning a portrait of him and even referring to him as "my dear Brown" in her writings. This level of attachment scandalized the rigid and formal royal court, where such familiarity with a servant was considered unthinkable. Publicly, the letters and their alleged contents painted a picture of a grieving monarch who found solace in an unconventional relationship, but privately, they stirred unrest and disapproval within the royal family. The speculation surrounding their connection highlighted the tension between personal vulnerability and public duty that monarchs have historically faced. The secrecy of their relationship, whether romantic or not, challenged the societal norms of power and class at the time, tarnishing Victoria's carefully controlled image as a stoic and untouchable queen. This intrigue around her personal life serves as a poignant example of how even the most powerful figures cannot escape the scrutiny and judgment of their contemporaries. With Queen Victoria's private letters casting shadows on her public legacy, we now move to explore how secrets have the power not just to shape monarchies, but to alter public perceptions of them entirely. Now turning to the legacy of King George III's concealed struggles, we delve into how the secrecy surrounding his mental health influenced political narratives in Britain and beyond. During a time when monarchs were expected to embody strength and infallibility, the hidden reality of King George III's condition challenged traditional perceptions of leadership. The lack of transparency fueled speculation and uncertainty, casting a long shadow over his reign. This secrecy had significant implications, particularly in the colonies. As unrest grew in America, critics seized upon the king's erratic decision-making as evidence of a failing monarchy, which fed into revolutionary sentiments and the eventual birth of a nation. At home in Britain, the guarded handling of his condition by advisors and members of court laid bare the vulnerabilities of a system that depended so heavily on the image of a strong and capable sovereign. The revelation of the king's mental struggles in later years shifted public discourse on the responsibilities and limitations of leadership. It also brought attention to the stigma surrounding mental health, a topic that was deeply misunderstood and taboo at the time. While modern perspectives have led to greater empathy for King George III's condition, the secrecy that shrouded it during his lifetime serves as a stark reminder of how concealing the truth can lead to far-reaching consequences. The legacy of this royal secret not only shaped historical perceptions of the king, but also influenced the broader narrative about the fragility of power and the human side of monarchy. As we reflect on how this secret rippled through history, we now turn our attention to the enduring mystery surrounding the fate of the princes in the Tower and its impact on the rise of the Tudor dynasty. Now turning to the intrigue surrounding the princes in the Tower, we unravel how this enduring mystery continues to cast its shadow over the legitimacy of the Tudor dynasty. The disappearance of Edward V and his younger brother Richard, Duke of York, remains one of the most debated royal secrets in history. Allegedly confined to the Tower of London, their fate was sealed amidst a backdrop of political upheaval and shifting loyalties during the late 1500s. This unresolved case has fueled speculation for centuries, with accusations of foul play aimed at figures such as Richard III and Henry VII. For the Tudors, this unanswered question became both a burden and a weapon. On one hand, it allowed their opponents to perpetuate doubts about the dynasty's rightful claim to the throne. On the other, the Tudors used propaganda to portray Richard III as the likely culprit, branding him as a tyrant whose actions justified the rise of Henry VII. The mystery of the missing princes also created a lasting narrative about the lengths royal factions would go to secure power, leaving the Tudor dynasty's reputation as one built partly on the ruins of unresolved tragedies. Over time, this story became a symbol of how secretive and ruthless the battle for the English throne could be, impacting public perception of monarchy itself. Even today, modern historians and enthusiasts continue to debate what truly happened to the princes, with some proposing that one or both may have escaped to live in hiding, while others believe they fell victim to political assassination. Regardless of the truth, this royal secret maintains its grip on the imagination, illustrating how unresolved mysteries can shape the historical narrative and influence the legacy of those who follow. As we leave behind the haunting echoes of the tower and its secrets, we journey now to unravel the clandestine maneuvers that led Catherine the Great to her throne. As we delve into the cunning maneuvers of Catherine the Great, her rise to power stands as a testament to the profound impact of secrecy in shaping history. Catherine's carefully orchestrated coup against her husband, Peter III, was not just an impulsive power grab, it was a masterpiece of strategic concealment. While outwardly maintaining the image of a dutiful wife, Catherine covertly gathered allies among influential military leaders, the Orthodox Church, and members of the Russian nobility. Her ability to keep these alliances hidden until the decisive moment proved to be her greatest weapon. When the coup finally unfolded, it was swift and ruthlessly effective, catching her husband and his supporters almost entirely off guard. This calculated secrecy set a precedent for how future rulers approached power struggles, demonstrating that the quiet assembly of support behind closed doors could be more potent than open conflict. Catherine's transformation from a foreign-born consort into one of history's most formidable monarchs highlighted the value of patience and discretion. Her success inspired imitation as later leaders studied her methods to understand how to consolidate power effectively without revealing their intentions prematurely. Beyond her own reign, Catherine's secretive ascent influenced political strategies across the globe, embedding a legacy of intrigue into the annals of history. With her story, we glimpse not only the shaping of an empire, but also a deeper understanding of how secrecy can alter the course of power itself. As we leave the shadowy corridors of Catherine's court, we turn now to the enigma surrounding Elizabeth I, whose claim to be the Virgin Queen became one of the most debated secrets of her reign. Moving forward, the secret correspondence of Henry VIII with Anne Boleyn was far more than mere love letters. It was a catalyst that reshaped the religious and political landscape of England. At first glance, these letters reveal the passionate and obsessive nature of Henry's pursuit of Anne, but beneath the surface lies a profound historical significance. These secret writings, exchanged while Henry was still married to Catherine of Aragon, were not only scandalous but also deeply consequential. When exposed, they fueled public and clerical discontent, pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable within the monarchy. The letters became undeniable evidence of Henry's intent to discard Catherine, an act that the Catholic Church firmly opposed. This resistance from the Church eventually led to the seismic decision to break from papal authority, establishing the Church of England with Henry as its supreme head. The exposure of these private communications was instrumental in galvanizing support among reformers who sought to challenge the Church's dominance, marking the beginning of the English Reformation. The impact was profound. Henry's secret pursuit of Anne set off a chain reaction that not only dismantled England's ties with the Catholic Church, but also redefined the monarchy's authority over religion. This pivotal moment set a precedent for the intertwining of personal desires and state affairs, proving how the exposure of a seemingly private matter could ripple out to transform an entire nation. As we trace the consequences of Henry's letters, it becomes clear that secrecy, when unveiled, has the power to ignite movements that reshape society. With this understanding, we turn now to the shadowy intrigue surrounding the man in the Iron Mask, one of history's most enduring mysteries. Now turning to the enigmatic tale of the man in the Iron Mask, we uncover a secret so shrouded in mystery that it has captivated historians, authors, and audiences for centuries. This unidentified prisoner, held during the reign of Louis XIV, was concealed behind a mask, his true identity erased from public record, and his mere existence rigorously hidden from the world. Over time, countless theories have emerged, each attempting to solve the riddle. Who was this man, and why was his identity such a dangerous secret? Among the most compelling speculations is the idea that he may have been the illegitimate son or secret twin brother of Louis XIV, a theory that suggests a potential threat to the king's claim to the throne. Others argue that he could have been a disgraced nobleman or a political enemy whose presence posed a risk to the delicate balance of power in the French court. There are even suggestions that he was a high-ranking official who betrayed state secrets, forcing his removal from public life to preserve the stability of the monarchy. Regardless of the truth, what makes this story so haunting is the extraordinary effort taken to keep his identity a secret. Every move of his imprisonment was meticulously controlled, with strict orders to keep the mask on at all times and to silence anyone who might inadvertently reveal his existence. This combination of secrecy and intrigue has rendered the man in the Iron Mask one of the most enduring mysteries of all time, inspiring numerous works of fiction and endless debate. His story reflects the immense lengths monarchies have gone to in order to protect their image and authority, even at the expense of individual lives. As we delve deeper into this tale, it becomes evident that the secrecy surrounding this enigmatic figure was not just about his identity, but also about the immense power that unchecked secrecy wields over history. Moving forward, we examine another monumental royal scandal, the hidden correspondence of Mary, Queen of Scots, which would ultimately seal her tragic fate. Now turning to the abdication scandal of Edward VIII and the role of Wallis Simpson, we find a moment in history that not only shook the British monarchy but also redefined its modern image. This scandal, rooted in a love story that defied tradition, was much more than the dramatic stepping down of a king. It was a pivotal event that forced the monarchy to confront its role in a changing society. Edward VIII's decision to marry an American divorcee was met with fierce resistance, not only by the government and the Church of England, but also by sections of the public who viewed it as an unacceptable breach of royal duty. This clash of personal desire with institutional expectation fueled heated debates about the very nature of monarchy. Was it an unassailable institution steeped in tradition, or could it adapt to the evolving values of the 20th century? The abdication itself set the stage for a new kind of monarchy, one more focused on duty, public service, and the preservation of public trust. As Edward stepped down, his younger brother George, a man known for his reserved and dutiful nature, ascended the throne. This shift in leadership style marked a transition toward a more grounded and relatable image of the monarchy. It began to distance itself from the perception of untouchable privilege and started to reframe itself as an institution accountable to its people. The public's growing interest in the personal lives of royals, spurred by the media coverage of Edward and Wallis, also highlighted the importance of transparency and public engagement in maintaining the monarchy's relevance. Wallis Simpson, though vilified by many at the time, remains an emblem of profound social change within the royal system. Her relationship with Edward not only upended traditional expectations, but also brought to light the question of how much individuality monarchs could or should sacrifice for the throne. This scandal ultimately opened the door to broader discussions about the balance between personal freedom and royal duty, a debate that continues to resonate within modern royal families. In the aftermath, the monarchy underwent subtle but significant reforms to ensure its survival in a rapidly modernizing world. The emphasis on carefully managed public relations, philanthropic efforts, and a stronger alignment with the values of its people can all be traced back in part to the effects of this event. As we examine the reverberations of this scandal, it's clear that the abdication did more than just alter the line of succession. It recalibrated the British monarchy's image, setting the foundation for the careful balancing act between tradition and modernity that defines its role today. Moving forward, we unveil another controversial chapter in royal history, diving into the secretive relationship between Queen Victoria and her servant John Brown, a bond that left an indelible mark on her reign and legacy. Now turning to the intriguing connection between Queen Victoria and her trusted servant John Brown, we step into a chapter of royal history shrouded in whispers and speculation. This bond, which blossomed after the untimely death of her beloved husband Prince Albert, became a subject of intense curiosity and controversy within both her court and the public. At a time when society imposed strict expectations on a grieving widow, especially one of Victoria's stature, her unprecedented closeness to John Brown challenged the rigid norms of the Victorian era. Brown, a Scotsman of humble origins, was not just a servant but a companion whose influence on the Queen's personal and emotional life seemed undeniable. His presence provided her with solace during her extended period of mourning, yet this relationship fueled a flurry of rumors that scandalized her court and even drew ridicule from the press, which mockingly referred to her as Mrs. Brown. The rumors, though never confirmed, held enough weight to spark debates about propriety and decorum within royal circles. While some members of her inner circle viewed this connection as inappropriate, others recognized the comfort and strength Brown offered to a queen who had endured profound loss. Behind the carefully managed facade of royal life, Victoria's reliance on Brown highlighted her humanity, a monarch grappling with loneliness and grief, seeking companionship in a way that defied societal expectations of her role. This secret also reflected the challenges faced by those in power who, despite their lofty status, are not immune to the complexities of personal relationships. To navigate the scandal and protect the Queen's reputation, her advisors and inner circle worked diligently to control the narrative, emphasizing her devotion to duty while downplaying any hint of impropriety. The relationship was a delicate balance between private need and public perception, showcasing how even the most powerful individuals had to tread carefully in preserving their image. This episode in Victoria's life underscores a recurring theme in royal history: the tension between personal freedom and the unrelenting demands of public expectation. As controversial as the bond with John Brown was, it left an indelible mark on her legacy, adding a layer of complexity to the image of one of Britain's most iconic monarchs. Moving forward, we delve into the speculative secrets of lesser-known royal families, uncovering the hidden illnesses and forbidden relationships that forever altered their destiny. Now turning to the speculative secrets of lesser-known royal families, we uncover tales that, while not as widely known, carry their own weight in shaping history. Among these, the hidden illnesses of minor royals offer a glimpse into the struggles often concealed behind gilded walls. One notable example lies within the House of Bavaria, where King Ludwig II, known as the fairy tale king, faced accusations of insanity. While his architectural marvels, like the famous Neuschwanstein Castle, dazzled the world, his mental state was a secret fiercely guarded by his court. His eventual deposition and mysterious death in a lake left unanswered questions that continue to intrigue historians to this day. Beyond illnesses, forbidden relationships also stirred the waters in smaller royal courts. Consider Princess Margaret of Denmark, whose love for an unsuitable suitor was quashed by her family, leading to years of quiet resentment and strained relations within her dynasty. Such stories of personal desires clashing with royal duty show that the burdens of tradition and expectation were not confined to the grand courts of Europe. These hidden struggles paint a vivid picture of the very human challenges faced by those born into positions of power. Moving forward, we delve into how secrets themselves have been wielded as tools of control, influencing the course of monarchies in ways both overt and covert. Now turning to the role of secrets in shaping monarchies, it becomes evident that these hidden truths were far more than mere personal indiscretions or scandals. They often served as deliberate tools for maintaining power or manipulating outcomes in courts rife with intrigue. For example, the carefully curated image of absolute authority often relied on concealing vulnerabilities. Monarchs like Louis XIV of France, known as the Sun King, deliberately shrouded any signs of weakness to reinforce his divine right to rule, projecting an image of infallibility that inspired both awe and submission. Similarly, secrets were wielded as weapons in the political chess game of courtly life. The dissemination of selective truths or outright falsehoods could elevate allies, destroy rivals, or shift public opinion. Consider the infamous case of Empress Catherine the Great, whose supporters spread rumors about the alleged incompetence of her husband, Peter III, to justify her coup. By controlling the narrative behind closed doors, Catherine not only secured her position but also reshaped the trajectory of Russian history. Additionally, secrets often served as a means to preserve alliances or prevent destabilizing conflict. Arranged marriages, for example, were frequently used to consolidate power between kingdoms, yet the true motivations or hidden incompatibilities of the unions were rarely disclosed to the public. The clandestine negotiations and compromises that facilitated these alliances highlight how secrets underpinned the very fabric of many monarchies. From masking human frailty to manipulating the political landscape, secrets were not just incidental to royal power but were integral to its maintenance and exercise. As we unravel these historical layers, it becomes clear that the ways in which secrets were handled often determined the stability or downfall of dynasties. With this understanding in mind, we now look at how the exposure or concealment of such secrets has influenced public perception of monarchies throughout the centuries. Moving forward, the exposure and concealment of royal secrets have played a profound role in shaping how monarchies are perceived by the public. These revelations often acted as turning points, either strengthening the mystique of royal power or unraveling the carefully constructed image of infallibility. Take, for instance, the sensational scandal of Marie Antoinette and the diamond necklace affair. Although she was eventually proven innocent, the public's belief in her guilt magnified the perception of extravagance and corruption within the French monarchy, further inciting revolutionary fervor. On the other hand, the deliberate concealment of vulnerabilities sometimes worked to maintain the reverence surrounding monarchies. Queen Elizabeth I's enigmatic presentation as the Virgin Queen, for example, elevated her as a symbol of devotion to her realm, even as speculation about her personal life quietly fueled intrigue. The effectiveness of such secrecy, however, was not universal. The eventual exposure of King Edward VIII's relationship with Wallis Simpson in the early 20th century sparked constitutional chaos, prompting his abdication and forever altering the perception of the British throne. While these royal secrets demonstrated the human side of rulers, they also revealed the fragility of the institutions themselves, showing that monarchies were not immune to public opinion. In some cases, revelations of hidden truths led to sympathy and renewed respect for the individuals behind the crown. Consider the later acknowledgement of King George III's mental health struggles, which has since been reframed as a compassionate narrative about the challenges of leadership during crisis. Ultimately, whether secrets were hidden or brought to light, they consistently shaped the public's trust, admiration, or disillusionment, proving that the legacy of a monarchy often hinged as much on its ability to manage its image as its ability to govern. As we analyze these patterns, it becomes increasingly apparent how the echoes of these dynamics persist in modern royal families, where secrets and scandals continue to capture the world's attention. Now turning to the present, the allure of royal secrets remains as compelling as ever, with modern monarchies facing their own share of controversies and revelations. In recent years, the British royal family has been at the center of global attention, with headlines exposing personal struggles, family tensions, and public scandals that echo the intrigue of past dynasties. Consider the intense scrutiny surrounding the departure of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from their royal duties, a decision accompanied by claims of internal discord and institutional challenges. Their public interviews and revelations shed light on the often hidden dynamics within the monarchy, sparking worldwide debates about tradition, modernity, and the role of royalty in contemporary society. Similarly, the controversy surrounding Prince Andrew's associations raised significant questions about accountability and the moral responsibility of those in positions of privilege and influence. These modern parallels underscore the enduring complexity of maintaining public trust while navigating the personal lives of royal figures. Unlike the tightly controlled narratives of historical monarchs, today's royals operate under the unrelenting gaze of a global media landscape, where secrets are far harder to conceal and missteps are amplified instantaneously. Yet, even in this environment, the fascination with royalty persists as the public continues to grapple with the humanity behind the crown. From the challenges of adhering to centuries-old traditions to addressing contemporary societal expectations, modern monarchies are constantly balancing their roles as symbols of continuity and agents of change. As these stories unfold, it becomes clear that the legacy of royal secrets remains intricately tied to their ability to adapt, survive, and remain relevant in an ever-changing world. As we bring this journey through history to a close, it is undeniable that royal secrets, both past and present, hold a unique power to reshape not only the destiny of kingdoms but also the perceptions of those who follow them. From the whispered conspiracies of ancient rulers to the explosive revelations of modern monarchies, these secrets have served as catalysts for intrigue, upheaval, and even transformation. They remind us that behind the grandeur of crowns and thrones lie human stories filled with ambition, love, betrayal, and vulnerability. Each secret we explored offers a glimpse into how the private lives of monarchs intersect with the public stage, leaving ripples that echo through time. But now, we turn it over to you. Which of these royal secrets did you find the most shocking or captivating? Do you think the legacy of monarchy is forever tied to these hidden truths? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know if there are other secrets you think deserve the spotlight. If you enjoyed uncovering these historical mysteries with us, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the past. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey, and we cannot wait to unravel more mysteries together next time.